Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Friday, October 21st, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We will talk about the Cardinals and the World Series here in just a couple of seconds. A reminder that we are on Facebook at The Showgram with JC Corcoran. That is The Showgram with JC Corcoran. That's on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter at STLJC Corcoran. That's STLJC Corcoran. We have great television archives at the top of the page. We have our eye candy feature along the bottom and our rock and roll poll question from yesterday. Does it bug you that Scotty McCreery and Trace Adkins were chosen to perform the national anthem at the World Series games here? 69% of you said yes. Congratulations. Yeah, it's a joke. Wouldn't it make more sense to showcase some St. Louis talent and what's with all the country crap? 69% of you. 17% said no, they're big stars and that's what matters. And 14% said doesn't matter to me because I don't start watching until all that stuff is over with and the game starts. All right, our rock and roll poll question for the weekend. Do you think people over 40 who dress up for Halloween are weird? You know, my personal feeling is that Halloween is for kids. But not everybody believes that. So what do you say? No, it's harmless fun. B, yes, Halloween is for kids and these people need to get alive. Or C, if the costumes are creative, funny, or slutty enough, I can dig it. Please answer in the corner. We'll have results for you on Monday's Daily Dose. And, of course, on the Big 550 KTRS, where Trish Gazelle and I reside every day from noon until 3. So, again, the Rangers refused to follow the script. And so now we're 1-1, and it's on for 3 games for the weekend and Monday to Dallas, Texas. Ballpark is a bandbox. Ball flies out of there. This ballpark, by the way, leads in runs, home runs, and ERA by opposing pitchers. So unless you keep the ball down, the ball just flies out. So look for some high-scoring games there. We've had these low-scoring games, the first 2 at Busch Stadium. And Busch Stadium is not a cavernous ballpark. The old Busch Stadium was before they moved the fence in. But, this ball just like flies out all over the place. It is noisy in there. And this team is enjoying the most popular period in franchise history. They moved there in 1972. The crowd will frequently, if there's men on base, sort of in a game situation, start cheering Napoli, Napoli for the Texas Rangers catcher. Dirk Nowitzki from Dallas Mavericks in the crowd a lot, as well as George W., Nolan Ryan, that sort of stuff. But watch that ball carrying, especially to right field. 73% of the audience with the TV on last night had the ball game on, and it went as high as 76% at one point. I feel sorry for the 24% of people who aren't watching this, but I guess not everybody's a baseball fan. All right, back on September 12th, and you know this story. Cardinals lost to Pittsburgh 6-5. That put them 5 games back in the wild card race, 15 games to play, meaning they were obviously a huge long shot to make the playoffs. There was one Cardinal fan who still had faith, and he happened to be at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. This is back on September 12th. So that night, for example, the odds makers had the Cardinals making the World Series at 500-1 and winning 999-1. So the guy does what anybody would do. He puts down $250 on both bets. His name hasn't been released, but Cardinals made the World Series. The 500-1 bet paid off. He won $125,000 on a $250 bet. Now, if the Cardinals win the World Series, he gets $250,000. His name has not yet been released, but we're going to try and find him. All right, World Series Game 3 goes on. Ronnie Dunn going to be singing the national anthem. And then for Game 4 on Sunday, Zooey Deschanel is going to sing the national anthem. At least she's a big star, what can I say? Rams at Dallas at 3:15. Uh-oh. And, of course, Dexter on Sunday night. I have to record that, though, because we're going to be watching a baseball game. Bill Maher tonight, by the way, has Rachel Maddow from MSNBC and Thomas Friedman, who wrote a pretty good book. Speaking of Sunday night 60 Minutes, if you're interested, they're going to have 2 stories basically on Steve Jobs. One is that he refused early and potentially life-saving surgery, which he later regretted. He went to this alternative medicine, waited 9 months until he sort of reacted on all this sort of stuff. And also he met his father, but his father didn't know that it was Steve, and Steve didn't know it was his father. But they later learned the guy was managing a coffee shop at the time. So we're going to do that story. As you heard on Trisha's Trash yesterday live from Hooters, Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries may already be breaking up. Muammar Gaddafi is dead. Steve Martin tweeted yesterday, lunch with Gaddafi, canceled. And Pee Wee Herman hopes to do Dancing with the Stars next season. He's friends with David Arquette and Courtney Cox, by the way. Maybe that's got something to do with it. According to a new survey by the people who make Estroglide, and if you are unfamiliar with this very, very slippery substance, your first guess would probably be right as to what it is for, Estroglide. These are the 5 most popular sexual fantasies in America. Number 1, sex in an exotic location. 2, a man or woman in uniform. Sex in public places. At 3, dominating a partner. And a threesome, foursome, or orgy comes in at number 5. We're watching this UCLA-Arizona football game last night. Arizona up 42-7, and the guy comes out in a referee outfit, but he's not a referee, and he says some things and then runs off, and then a bench-clearing brawl ensues. It's all over the internet if you want to look at it. Yeah, Gaddafi's dead. How about that? That video that they showed, the news organizations on TV are on the defensive right now because they're really coming up against a lot of criticism and scrutiny for showing, this bloody death of this guy. Yeah, we didn't like him, and I understand that, but, the position of most major news organizations is that you don't show the moment of death, and they really skirted that whole thing. So they're on the defensive today. Gaddafi, by the way, leaves behind a wife, 4 sons, and the wardrobe of a carnival fortune teller. President Obama is going to be, for the 4th time on The Tonight Show next week, 1 more appearance, and he beats Conan O'Brien. According to that crazy preacher, the world is supposed to end today. Once again, Steve Jobs ahead of the curve. And the Texas Rangers, of course, beat the Cardinals 2-1 last night. And for a lot of people, it's a great opportunity to watch that all-American game featuring athletes from the Dominican Republic playing with equipment made in China on a field maintained by Mexicans while wearing uniforms stitched in India. Welcome to America. 10 days to Halloween, 34 days till Thanksgiving, 65 days until Christmas. And JC's Eye Candy today, with the death of Gaddafi, they're talking about the possibility of significant geographical changes in the Middle East, including the establishing of perhaps one new country. And we have a picture of what that country is on JC's Eye Candy. Have a look below. All right. It's going to be an interesting weekend. By Monday, we're going to know a lot about whether or not we're going to have a victory parade here in St. Louis or whether we're going to be crying in our Schlafly. And I'll get to that story later on today, too, because on the air, the 2 governors start making bets, Jay Nixon and Rick Perry. Rick Perry, the guy. So Jay Nixon, if the Cardinals win the World Series, he gets to go to Texas and execute a guy. And if Rick Perry's Texas Rangers win, then I got the joke backwards. Is there any question that this is one take? I was going to do a joke about him having to get out of the presidential race, but I blew the joke. Okay, I got a couple of hours to rehearse before I have to go on the air. Would have been a great joke, too. All right. Our rock and roll poll question. What about these people over the age of 40 who get all dressed up in elaborate Halloween costumes? Please answer in the corner what results for you on Monday. That's it. JC's Daily Dose for Friday, October 21st, 2011. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.